Memeing.
Meme show. Meme show.
Meme show.
Meme show. I like it. It's our new
How
intro.
you
We're
doing?
going to record that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm doing good, man. Ready for a nice long weekend. It's been a heck of a week, so ready to unwind and kick back.
Nice. I have the opposite. My wife's out of town, ditching me on a long holiday weekend with the kids, and so I'm looking forward to just trying to make it through, keeping them alive. Can't even get myself good and drunk. You know, gotta be able to take kids to the hospital as needed. Terrible.
But she will get back at you, or you will get back at her, I should say, for Porkfest. When, you leave her in the dust for 3 days.
But you know what? But it's easier then because the kids will be in school because we're going Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and coming back Saturday. So she really only has to watch the kids like one day because the rest of the time they're at daycare. Like, doesn't matter. And I'm stuck with them the whole weekend. Then she's going out of town for another 4 days in like 2 weeks, and I got stuck with them again over a weekend.
Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. But
this is how people fall into doorknobs. You know what I mean?
Talking about yourself, or
I'm talking about my wife.
You can hang yourself on a doorknob. Is that what happened? Anthony Bourdain, he got stuck watching some children for too long.
Yep, exactly. And either he got stuck watching children for too long and killed himself, or he figured out that other people were watching children, if you know what I mean.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's maybe
suicided.
What
yeah, suicided. Well, anyway, you know who's getting suicided is Disney. I don't know if you saw Indiana Jones debuted at Cannes, right? At the film festival.
Not see this, no.
Yeah. And tepid reactions, the reviews are out for it, and the new Indiana is getting it has 50% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is pretty terrible considering. And the film, from what I'm reading some of the reviews on it, it's just Disney once again, fucking destroying a franchise because this latest version has Indy as a sad old fuck who is.
I was going to say, is Harrison Ford still playing him? So what is he?
Yeah,
80. He's
got to be
at least 80
easily. And but the thing is, the way they wrote him, he's intentionally like this, kind of worn down, depressing guy, and apparently, his granddaughter, who's this chick Phoebe Waller-Bridges, who's an ultra feminist annoyance, is now, of course, the lead lady, and just is belittling Indiana Jones the whole time, and just I'm so feminist, I'm so quippy. And it's just a more obnoxious bullshit from left Hollywood for a film that's just going to tank. Barely anyone's going to see it. I think.
Does she call him a white supremacist at any point in the movie?
I would presume at some point she must. Well, what I was laughing about too, and I just tweeted this out because I was reading another review right before we jumped on. And I'll just read this verbatim. This is from Rolling Stone. This is from Rolling Stone, too, gave it shit reviews. And Rolling Stone's very left. But he says, it's 1969 and Jones is being forced out to pasture by his Hunter College bosses. Hunter College forcing out an old white man, probably to hire a machete-wielding black psychopath feminist. Same college. Is that funny? Same college. Hunter College. So funny. Appropriate.
Yeah, we anyway, got a comment here from I won't say his name, from Joe. They should have recast Indiana Jones as a black female lesbian immigrant. No, as a trans. Should have recast him as a trans.
It's coming. That's what they were trying to do with James Bond, I think. They were trying to replace him with a black chick. And I think they backed off that plan now because they know it's just going to be an absolute joke. But also, just in the wider sense, I was reading how Disney Plus, Disney's just bleeding out. They've lost so many subscribers. I was talking a little bit about it at Mean Age Daydream. They lost 4 million subscribers over the last quarter, and they just canceling shows, and now they're pulling shows off. Willow, one of my favorite movies of all time. Right? Have you ever seen Willow? Oh, so good, right?
I love Willow. Yeah.
I
haven't seen it
Val Kilmer back
years,
when he could talk.
Yeah.
Oh, you should watch it again, man. It's so good. So Willow, they made a series, and I was like, yes, I'm so excited about this Willow series. Fucking terrible. All about teens and, leftist woke bullshit worked in there. Again, nobody watched it. They canceled it after 6 months, and now they're pulling it off. You can't even watch it. Like this last week, they're like they have to pull it off because they need to write it off the losses, and if they keep it on the service, they can't write it off as like a loss. So they're just trying to like take the losses to like for tax purposes. It's amazing to see, man. They're just killing the franchises.
Funny story about Willow. So yeah, my sister and I were big Willow fans back in the day. Loved Willow. And when we would go to the beach, we would pretend that we were Willow and whatever the other characters' names were.
Mad Mardigan.
You get down in the surf and then get on your knees. So like you're like a little person.
And then you throw acorns at each other that would turn you to stone. Good times. Yeah, so much fun. But and there you go. Joe said too. Yeah, to teenage speak. Yeah, the whole thing was like it was like a teen soap opera, just idiotic. So they killed that off. They're trying their best to kill off Star Wars. It's just like awful, man. Like everything about him is awful. And I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see if they actually fire people at the top ranks. Mix it up and start to develop good content again.
I don't know. Like it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bud Light, what happens with Target. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're at this like peak wokeness point where I guess we'll find out. This will be in the next 6 months to 12 months. We'll find out, is this like a marketing thing where, they take losses and their stocks plunge. So they pivot and they actually try to start making money again by catering to their actual audience. Yeah. Or is this just blatant ESG and they're going to keep shoving it down our throat and tank their companies? And I don't know like what the next step would be then, or, maybe all of the streaming services just become one and it's a monopoly and they're like, fuck you, you're going to take our ESG. I don't know.
I think it's getting to the point where there comes a time, like no matter how much ESG you want, at the end of the day, you still have to make money. Just because BlackRock has funds and has stocks, it's like, look, these companies still need to make money. They still have to exist. People still want to be, eating caviar off strippers. So there is going to come a time when it's rubber meets the road. I mean, and look, Bud Light's a good example of it. They are getting the crap kicked out of them. Still, like this, even this weekend, they are literally giving away beer for free. Because this is
probably one of their biggest weekends of the year, and
normally it would be because and I called this. I said slapping the camo cans out there isn't going to make anybody buy them. People aren't that stupid, and it's patronizing. And now what they did, they have a $15 rebate on a $15 case of Bud Light, and essentially this is what it is Bud Light actually doing something nice. I'll give them credit for it for the distributors, because the distributors are like, we're going bankrupt here because you guys fucked your marketing and pissed these people off. So this is Bud Light literally saying, we're just trying to get the distributors paid. We'll eat the costs, but trying to keep them open. Because look, if the distributors go out, Bud Light's got a brand new problem in that now they can't even get their shitty beer into the stores, let alone convince people to buy it. If it actually gets there, it's not going to be able to get on the shelves.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will start to lose, some of that distributor market share. But at my local distributor, Bud Light is stacked up 2 or 3 times as high as everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of funny. They have a big sign on the front that says, the official beer of first responders.
Oh, yeah.
I want my first responders good and drunk when they show up.
He's trying to put in, it's like sometimes you have to poke the hole in the lung with a straw, and the guy's just like, Actually, think about that. Remember all those old movies? They used to they'd use the trick and somebody's choking on blood. They'd put a knife hole and then put a straw in. Now in California, we've got these shitty paper straws. So they're probably like, all right, I'm going to save this guy's life. They cut him open and they plop the paper straw, which easily just turns to mush.
Just soaks up all the blood.
That would be a funny little skit. Maybe I'll suggest that to Lou Perez. A funny thing to do. So, anyway.
Lou Perez, he's the one that does those little skits and he'll post them on Twitter.
Right, yeah. Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the one he just did with he's a guy with a huge dick, but he wants to be a gun owner? Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, anybody listening, definitely check out our buddy Lou Perez. And actually, I was talking to Lou. He's going to do something with us at Pork Fest, by the way. I think maybe Lou will do like 10 minutes of stand-up, and I'll do 10 minutes before the happy hour we do with Free the People. Something we'll do with Lou, whether it's a podcast or maybe he'll live read some Do Nothing Man. But But yeah, check him out. He's great.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize Lou was going to be a Pork Fest.
Awesome. Yeah, Lou's coming. I'm not sure. Robbie the Fire I was talking to, he may come out. Rico might fly out. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, he said he might fly out just for Thursday. He has to get back and, I don't know, abuse his son, but he might fly out for the one day.
Did he forget how long it takes to get from Boston to Rogers Campground?
I don't know. Maybe he likes to be alone with his thoughts.
As soon as he gets in his car and starts driving, he's just going to be cursing himself out.
Raging. Totally. All right. Anything else to add, or should we get into the memes?
No, let's get into it. I can start it off today, and I can't remember if you talked about this one on your Wednesday show, but I'm going to bring it up again because it's just so freaking outrageous.
No.
Gavin Newsom, of course, has to respond to what's going on with Target, and they said that Target pulled off some of the LGBTQ merchandise from their shelves. I've seen both extremes. I've seen everything's still there, and I've seen a totally empty. So maybe it just is dependent on the Target, on the location.
Yeah, I haven't gone to the one that I usually go to that's on the way home from my kids' daycare to see it, because it was right at the front of the store the last time I'd gone in a few days ago. But here in LA, they probably are just leaving it, I would think.
Yeah, probably. It probably depends where you are.
I do think they pulled the Satanist stuff, though. The designs by the Satanist, the trans Satanist, those I think they pulled. You cannot get them anymore.
I don't know. I've seen, and maybe they have now, but I've seen, one guy on Instagram was going in still, this was yesterday, still showing the Satanist stuff, but maybe that was in LA.
I think I might go and buy some up. Fucking, now it's I'll sell it on eBay. Now you can't get them. It's going to be all the rage.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, nobody's going to want them because now they're getting protested by both the conservatives and by the LGBTQ because they pulled stuff off the shelves, just like what happened with Bud Light. But Gavin Newsom, standard Gavin Newsom, just totally going over the top with this tweet, responding to it. He thinks he's speaking out, protecting the LGBT community. He says, CEO of Target, Brian Cornell, selling out the LGBTQ plus community to extremists is a real profile in courage. This isn't just a couple of stores in the South. Oh, what do you mean by that, Gavin? There is a systematic attack on the gay community happening across America. No, it's not. Wake up, America. This doesn't stop here. You're black, ? You're Asian, ? You're Jewish, ? You're a woman, ? You're next. I mean, this is just insane. He is an insane person.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous that he's the governor of his state and he's tweeting this out.
It's insultingly stupid. And like you said, there is no attack on gay people. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. There is a huge difference between the constant propagandization that goes on for a sexuality, right? Which is what we're talking about here. I mean, what other propagandization of a sexuality do you have put right up in front of you during, on a display case? I mean, it'd be like if you're into, I don't know, let's say furry play. Is there going to be a month where all the furry play is front and center? No, it is. We're talking about gay. That's a sexuality. When you're talking about trans, that's not even a sexuality. That is because a lot of these people, they're still attracted to the same sex or other sex. That doesn't usually change when you turn trans. That sexuality is the same. You're talking about an identity and what I would say is a mental condition with that. So yeah, people can say we don't want to have this right in front of the store. And also we don't want it aimed towards children. That's all the problem anybody really has. And then to say, if you're black or a woman or Asian, you're going to say, what? What a fucking crazy logic leap this is.
It's a logic leap. It's totally apples and oranges that have zero connection to each other. But all he's just trying to divide, just find a way to divide. How do I get my leftist votes, to be loyal to my side? Who cares about the other conservative or right wing or whatever? And that's just how politicians message now. I mean, you have Joe Biden out there every week. He's calling, half the country white supremacists. It's just insane to watch it unfold. Really, it's hard 100%. To even believe it's happening.
Well, here's another meme that ties into what we're talking about with the trans issue. Dr. Eli David, who's a pretty good follow on Twitter, had tweeted this out, and I doubt he made it, but I'll give him credit. It's a super hot chick in a America bikini, and then next to the super hot chick is, of course, Dylan Mulvaney, tucking and just looking like a terrifying anorexic in a bikini or in a one piece, and then below the hot chick is a beautiful black stallion, and of course, below Dylan Mulvaney is two men in a cheap Halloween horse costume.
So Dylan Mulvaney has she gone all the way and gotten the dick chopped off?
Don't believe he's done anything other than maybe hormone stuff. I mean, as far as I know, he, whatever, has not done any surgery. It's just tucking and cosplay, basically. He's just pretending.
Yeah, I mean, the most disturbing part about Dylan Mulvaney is that it's basically making a mockery of like teenage girls. Like that's the character that they play, which is it's disgusting, really, to watch. I mean, do what you want. If she wants to be or he wants to be that person and dress up as a woman, I don't care. But
I don't care.
Like
either.
especially on like TikTok, like you're targeting like young people with this. I'm not saying the government should step in or anything, but it's just really, really creepy.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed completely. All right. What's your next meme?
All right. Next meme. Whoops. I'm an idiot. Well, actually,
every show good for at least one.
Because I just screwed that up. I have the perfect meme to counter that screw up right in my pocket here. Alex Jones.
Oh, you got to unmute it.
That I put in my stack and I've lost. But man, does it say it all. Can't find it now. I've got a meme here.
Alex Jones
put my stack and I've lost.
Print out memes. That's old school.
But man, does it say it all.
Man, does it say it all.
Can't find it now.
I love it.
All right.
That's my meme. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I'll pull up my next one. This was sent over from our listener and supporter, good old Jason Carrier, and this is from a account called Not Jerome Powell, but it's got inflation government. It's got Bart Simpson where he's pretending, or he's got a blind glasses on and his cane, pretending to be blind. Government can't see the inflation. $31 trillion in debt. Can't see the inflation. Still's got the blind glasses on. And your $600 Venmo transaction, and it's Bart looking through a giant telescope through his window when he's got the cast on. And that's about fucking right. These assholes have just now, they're still negotiating the debt ceiling, which is just ridiculous. We're spending so much money. We're sending $357 million to Ukraine, and they want to make sure that you're not paying your fucking aunt $600 over Venmo for some illegal transaction, because that has to be cracked down on. That we opened the books for, and we sick the IRS on you.
It's I don't know if you saw this recently. I think I saw it in Zero Hedge, but now the countries around Ukraine, like the neighbors like Poland and Finland, they're like starting to be like, okay, this is getting out of hand, because all of the refugees, all of the migrants from Ukraine are going into their country, and like they're basically having to support them. Yeah. So they're starting to push like behind the scenes for like, all right, this is enough. We need to get a peace deal here and end this nonsense. But Zelensky will have nothing to do with it, and the Biden administration
he's got to buy 8 more castles.
Yeah, the Biden administration, they don't care. They'll keep sending money in there and using Ukrainian people as to fight their proxy war.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, part of me thought like, okay, maybe this will end within the next year. At this point, I feel like politically, Joe Biden feels like it has to go on throughout, like up until the election. Otherwise, he might look weak or something.
See, I go the opposite way on that. I actually think that even though we just sent them more money, I think that Ukraine has become such an unpopular position now among the majority of Americans that he's going to try to get out of it. He's going to try to resolve it before the election, and then crow about how Russia only got this and that, and how they're weakened. And because do you buy? And RFK Jr. said this, and I buy it completely, that we're just using Ukraine as a new Afghanistan. And a general, an army general, is on record saying this. The goal of this is just to make it so that Russia's army is too weak from this prolonged, embattlement over Ukraine to really do much else on the world stage. And so they're happy just to fuck around and keep them there and weaken them as a state and fuck the Ukrainians.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I think that's a big part of what's happening. I don't think Joe Biden is like planning that out because he has no idea what's going on. But Susan Rice, whoever behind the scenes, the neocons who are advising him, I'm sure that's a big part of the plan.
Yep.
So on to that note, from that same region, we got here. What's this guy's name? I had it. Croatian politician Mislav Kolokusic. Talking about the WHO being more dangerous than the WEF.
Awesome.
Shortly to Vera people from upcoming danger for humanity. The World Health Organization wants all countries to sign an agreement on handing over the authority to declare a pandemic, procure vaccine and drugs. It will be healthier and safer for humanity to sign agreement with the Colombian drug cartel. They know all about drugs for sure. During the COVID pandemic, World Health Organization only told lies. It should be declared a terroristic organization.
Amen.
They lie. It is a new and known virus. That is possible to make an effective vaccine. That the vaccine is 82% effective. That it protects against serious illness and deaths. That all, of course, were foolish and lies. Today, World Health Organization is more dangerous for humanity than World Economic Forum.
Love it. I love it.
I'll tell you what. I mean, that's my new favorite world politician is good old Mislav.
Yeah,
he's not wrong at all. And there's already a new push. They're talking about, well, there's going to be another pandemic. It's right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So we got to get everyone, to come together. So the response is unifying and equitable, and it's just they show their hand. They don't even try to hide it anymore. And it's just good to see politicians on the world stage calling this out. And thankfully we have platforms that I'm kind of surprised that Instagram didn't put like a warning label on this video. Maybe they've given up on that for the time being, but
hopefully. Well, you know what, on Mean Age Daydream a couple weeks ago, I was talking about the One Health push in the World Health Organization. Have you heard about this? No. It's basically what it is. It's that they're recategorizing virtually anything that could possibly impact human existence, human health, human whatever. They're recategorizing that under this One Health initiative. And essentially that encompasses climate change. That encompasses, I guess probably migration issues because that's human suffering. I mean, you can even extend to economic issues because you're talking about what impacts human beings' ability to live and thrive in our health. So that's literally fucking everything. So now the World Health Organization could declare a pandemic over, let's say, a climate emergency because that is disproportionately impacting people's health because it's raised the half degree in Zimbabwe or some bullshit like that. So it's like this is like the most authoritarian push possible, and he nails it. This is an intergovernmental, across all borders. We're now giving this pandemic power to the World Health Organization, and it's not going to end well for anybody.
Yeah, I think that's what's coming next. I don't know if it's a year or 10 years away, but is like a climate lockdown. It might they might start with like just one country here, one country there, but it'll be just like with COVID. Eventually, they'll lock down the world. Okay, it's just 2 weeks. Just stay in your house because the climate. We got to get things under control. We can't pollute for 2 weeks.
Yep, exactly, man.
Yeah.
All right, let me share my last meme here, which is a great one, a very topical one. So it's got what I'm looking at here. This is from Punk Rock Libertarians. It's a death guy, death in the skeleton with the cloak, and he's got a little crane machine, and he's pulling up people from the crane, and it says Tina Turner is Henry Kissinger even in this thing? Because
good.
Fuck it, it's really funny. Goddamn Henry Kissinger just won't die. Horrible, horrible man responsible for many of the more idiotic foreign policy moves. Although I think even Kissinger had warned against the Ukrainian situation as it currently stands, if I'm recalling correctly. But I could be wrong.
Maybe so. He might have warned against it, but he probably still supports it, if that makes sense. Doesn't make sense, but I'm sure he probably does.
And, there was a reference in a Futurama episode saying that Henry Kissinger had fucked Jill St. John. Now, do you know who Jill St. John is?
No, who's Jill St. John?
Oh, she is a smoke show from the 70s. Let's see. I'm trying to find a really good picture of her that doesn't show boobs, because we don't want to get in trouble for showing the boobs.
So this is 50 years ago. Henry Kissinger is he 90 now?
Something like that, yeah. So there we go. So this is Jill St. John from back in the day. She was just this, very busty, gorgeous redhead. I believe she was an Octopussy, the James Bond film, and just, amazing. That super old, sexy woman. Back when women were allowed to be sexy and they didn't have to be fierce feminists that yelled at Indiana Jones. Those were the good old days. Jill St. John would never have yelled at Indiana Jones.
No, absolutely not. No.
There we go. Good suggestion from Joe here. If we put butt plugs in all the cows, we can save the climate. Yeah. You could have them vibrate or have them. Oh, how about this? So you put butt plugs in the cows. They filter out the farts, and you electrify them with little zappers, so then you don't have to have electric fences. They're like dog collars that have the invisible fence, but they're cow butt plugs.
Sure. What could go wrong?
Solving climate change.
I forget where I saw this, but like the thing that they're even like attacking the food supply and cows as a part of, creating greenhouse gases or whatever, which is bullshit in the first place. But cows only create, and livestock in general only creates something like 2%, or maybe it's 1% of the greenhouse gases. So even if you got rid of that and we all started eating bugs, you would change nothing.
Nothing.
You would change.
Yeah, of course. Any more memes on your end? Or are we all done?
Nah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, have a good Memorial Day weekend, John.
You do the same. Enjoy your Coors Original.
I will. My Coors Original and my children bothering
me. There you go.
All right. Memes out.
See